You're good.
All right, welcome back to the Illinois Midseason Showdown. We're here with finals. Brad Warnecke versus Dane Zieman here.
Yeah, pretty high finals.
Pretty exciting. Two of these players have battled it out through top 8 and have had some pretty good matches on stream so far today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Making really good plays. Brad with the transform plays in last game, just incredible, and Dane really using that fast Mewtwo to destroy his competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Evan is probably still feeling it after that.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Yeah, we've seen a very good showing from both these players so far. Brad adjusted very well in his set against Steven. Kind of got beat badly game 1. Thought about it a little bit, realized okay, Trick Room's the way to go. Bringing Smeargle's the way to go. So brings Smeargle, Trick Room, ends up winning games 2 and 3. Dane, on the other hand, played from ahead for nearly the entire set against Evan. Played safe. Controlled the game very effectively.
Yeah, and Evan, unable to take it from him, and we're here in finals.
Yeah,
so
we're here in finals now.
go ahead and gonna give them a thumbs up, and we're gonna get right into it. Once again here, Brad will be at the bottom of your screen with a team of Groudon, Smeargle, Kangaskhan, Kyurem, Meowstic, and Mawile. Against Dane, who will be on the top of your screen with a team of Mewtwo, Groudon, Amoonguss, Scrafty, Salamence, and Crobat. So this matchup, definitely not one of the more common matchups that you see in VGC 16. How do you think that both players are going to approach it?
Mewtwo here is looking to be pretty strong. It does not going to take a ton from Kyurem's attacks. It does need to be careful around the Mawile of Brad, around the Kangaskhan, etc. The Amoonguss here and Scrafty are going to be very important. Scrafty being able to intimidate Groudon under Trick Room, Amoonguss being able to Spore under Trick Room.
Right.
From talking to Dane about his team a little bit, he's been saying things like, I don't like that he doesn't generally bring Amoonguss except versus Mawile Trick Room. So
maybe we'll see it here.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that we see Amoonguss here.
Possibly more mind games with the Mega adjustment from Brad here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could bring Kangaskhan, could bring Mawile. We haven't seen much of the Mawile, actually.
Yeah, I don't know that we've actually seen Mawile on stream at all yet.
Yeah, not from Brad anyways. So we see Dane leading with Scrafty and Groudon here, and we do see the Mawile coming out from Brad's sides along with the Meowstic there. So possible Trick Room setup here.
Yeah, possible Trick Room setup here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dane here try to adjust, try to fire off a fake out, Precipice Blades into this. Pretty decent position for both players. Both of them threaten a little bit. The thing is that Brad's team doesn't seem to have a whole lot to hit the Groudon with under Trick Room.
Yeah.
Mawile's not doing a whole lot to it under Trick Room. You can put it to sleep using Smeargle.
Yeah.
Kyurem does quite a bit to Groudon, but it is Choice Scarf, so if he sets up his own Trick Room, he could be hampering his own Kyurem at that point. Also interesting to know, we see both Brad led with both non-restricted Pokemon, so unless he has both of them waiting in the back, probably only brought the Groudon, I'd imagine.
Right, for that Trick Room mode. As we do see Mawile staying into Mega Evolve here, going to give it that huge power ability, gonna boost its attack stat quite a bit. Opting to protect this turn, fearing that Groudon attack there. Precipice Blades does connect with the Meowstic here. Gonna do a decent amount of damage, not so much at -1, however. Knockoff going into that Meowstic, gonna get rid of that Mental Herb there. As we do see the Trick Room being set up by Brad here. Gonna be able to outslow the Scrafty possibly here.
Yeah, that's definitely his hope here is to be able to underspeed the Scrafty, get off a player off as well. Mawile here, still not in a very good position. Scrafty could just switch out into something able to take the player off, and then Groudon is able to fire back a Precipice Blades. Whereas Mawile is not able to do much to the Groudon, and neither is Meowstic. Meowstic could go for a Safeguard, hoping to dodge a Precipice and then maybe swagger his own Pokemon.
Right.
get to see a swagger onto the Groudon. I'm pretty sure we've seen that on stream too. Not obviously the smartest play, but I mean, if you just feel like rolling dice, it's probably okay.
Yeah. Also, the -1 really helping out that Meowstic survive there.
Absolutely, yeah.
As we do see the Salamence coming in for Dane's side here, gonna bring another stage of Intimidate against that Mawile. Gonna bring it to -2 attack. Gravity coming out from Meowstic here, actually. Going to be able to boost Brad's accuracy. Play Rough going into the Salamence here. Going to be a -2. Still able to pick up the knockout there without even getting a critical hit there. Groudon able to fire off a Fire Punch into the Mawile slot. Going to be enough to pick up the knockout there with the help of the sun there, I guess.
Yeah, interesting choice there to go for the Fire Punch and not the Precipice Blade. Trying to keep Brad's Meowstic around so that it can't set up, or so that it's not putting out any direct offensive pressure. You see Smeargle come in here.
Oh boy! every time it comes out, it's just like, what is gonna happen now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Trick Room up, Gravity setup, Dark Void.
Dark Void's a possibility. He probably wants to protect to stall out the fake out here. We've seen the strategy confirmed to be Assault Vest, so not carrying Protect. The Smeargle is also slow, especially judging by its HP stat, probably pretty bulky. Going to be able to underspeed the Groudon and Dark Void it if it so chooses to.
Yeah, but we do actually see the switch out of the Groudon on Dane's side into the Mewtwo, Dane's other restricted Pokemon on his team. Going to show that pressure. Safeguard from the Meowstic going to prevent any status afflictions from for Brad's side. We do actually see the Dark Void right away going into both of Dane's Pokemon. Going to connect with that Scrafty and with the Mewtwo there, being helped out by that Gravity setup.
Yeah, not interesting to see the Scrafty not have to fake out there.
Yeah.
Probably predicting the Smeargle to protect, but now that the Safeguard is up, Brad has a pretty easy play of just switching in his Groudon and going for Swagger on it. Able to go for +2 Precipice Blades at that point.
Yeah.
Not a good position for Dane. Both of his Pokemon being asleep there, not ideal. Brad just going straight up for the Dark Void. Definitely caught Dane off guard there.
But at the same time, 2 support Pokemon on Brad's side, not going to be doing out any damage this turn, it seems.
Interesting choice we see here. He switches out the Meowstic into the Groudon. Not opting to switch in and Swagger himself, which I think would be his optimal play at that point. The Mewtwo hasn't taken a sleep turn. Groudon's not going to take a ton of damage from Scrafty if it were to get a first turn wake up.
So, I mean, we will see it switch in here. Not going to see any Meowstic setup shenanigans anymore here. Gonna reveal that Desolate Land. Transform into the Groudon. Double Groudon once again for Brad. Seems to be his best play
here. Yeah, going for the double Groudon instead of swaggering his own Groudon. So why have 1 +2 Groudon when you're gonna have 2 regular Primal Groudon?
Yeah, twice the fun. There you go.
Absolutely. Trick Room here I believe still has a turn. So double Precipice Blades here, going to be able to KO the Mewtwo as long as it doesn't wake up, but it does wake up.
It does wake up and goes for a Protect here, trying to save itself from Precipice Blades. Scrafty also waking up this turn, able to get a Super Fang off into Brad's Groudon. Precipice Blade's going to come out and target that Scrafty down. And Smeargle also going for its own Precipice Blades here. Going to be able to get Scrafty pretty close to being KO'd. Not quite, though, as we do see Trick Room expiring this turn.
Yeah, honestly, Dane was probably hoping that he could get off the Super Fang and then have his Scrafty KO'd. Looks like EVing it so bulky ended up not paying off.
Right.
Say he gets the switch into his own Groudon. His Groudon is running a little bit of speed, I know.
Right.
So,
and these Groudon are slow, right?
Yeah, these Groudon are both very slow. So he would have gotten a Mewtwo, could have Side Strike Precipice Blades, and won the game that way. Now Scrafty's in here, pretty dead weight. Can't switch out obviously because you don't want your Groudon to take all that damage. Side Strike does threaten the KO onto the actual Groudon, and not
not the fake one.
yeah, not the fake Groudon quite.
Yeah. So Definitely, it definitely could take some damage back, not being able to protect this turn, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Precipice Blade is going to do a fair amount, especially if he can somehow survive a side strike and get off a single target precipice. That'd be very impressive.
Yeah, as we do see the side strike going into the Schmiergel slot, actually. Critical hit, not enough to pick up the knockout there, though. We do see Precipice Blades coming out from that slot. Gonna be doing a lot of damage to that Mewtwo, picking up a KO on that Scrafty. And we will see the substitute coming out from Brad's real Groudon here as we see Gravity expiring. What do you think of this play?
The substitute's a pretty good play. I don't think that it's going to help too much. This is going to come down to Precipice Blades, hits and misses, etc.
Yeah.
Knowing that the Groudon on Dane's side is faster, he can pretty easily side strike the Groudon and then go for Precipice Blades. Going to come down to if he can hit both of those. If he's able to dodge a couple, Brad might be able to win. This pretty much just comes down to being able to actually hit attacks here.
Right, because we do see Psystrike going into that substitute, definitely going to be able to take it out, bringing back the regular Groudon. Mewtwo holding on after Life Orb recoil there. Precipice Blades coming out and does connect with both of the opposing Groudons here, leaving Brad with just the Meowstic in the back.
Yeah, the Meowstic here probably not going to be able to win the game unless Meowstic busts out a priority Precipice Blades, perhaps.
Yeah.
Not a very good position to have Meowstic as your last. So Dane's gonna take game one. Played that really well. Played it patiently. Didn't get too overwhelmed by the double Groudons. Played it out to knowing that his Groudon has a little bit of speed on it as well, which was very useful for him.
Right. So it was kind of odd. It seemed that Brad, when he transformed into that Groudon, it seemed like he had the game almost sealed up. What do you think happened there to kind of change the momentum?
The momentum of that game definitely changed when Trick Room expired and the Groudon was still waiting in the back.
Oh,
that definitely helped him out a lot. The Smeargle getting hit with that side strike was definitely important as well. Not opting to try to KO the other Groudon instead.
Yeah, the low HP Groudon. Yeah. So possibly a misplay on that part, you think?
No, I think Dane played it pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see which adjustments he brings game two. He sort of only had the double Groudon to deal with. Dane's Groudon. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to bust out Kyurem White. Kyurem White has a relatively good matchup with the rest of his team. Yeah. It doesn't really like facing off against Scrafty, but it has a good matchup versus Crobat, Amoonguss, Salamence. Can fire off attacks into Mewtwo faster than it, and obviously does a lot of damage to Groudon as well.
Yeah, and if he does opt to choose Kyurem, you'd have to expect not the Trick Room strats, right?
Yeah, if he brings Kyurem, I wouldn't expect to see Trick Room coming out. Dane didn't opt to bring Amoonguss to punish Trick Room this game.
Yeah.
Instead of opting to punish it with a Scrafty, which didn't work out too well. But I mean, obviously still end up with a win, but the Scrafty wasn't really able to effectively punish the Trick Room.
So yeah, we'll see what kind of adjustments are made here. Possibly maybe Kangaskhan would work in this matchup.
I can see that too, yeah.
with the fake out.
Yeah, with the faster fake out than Scrafty, we could definitely see something like that working out for Dane, or for Brad rather. I think something like a Kangaskhan Kyurem gives him pretty decent control turn one, especially if Dane opts to adjust and bring Salamence, for instance.
Right.
Kyurem very threatening to Salamence.
Still, and even with the intimidated Kangaskhan, you can still threaten Blizzard attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Something like a fake out, a double edge, and a Blizzard might be enough to KO Scrafty.
Okay. We'll get to see what these two players opt to do in the situation. Any other Pokemon you would expect to see from Dane that we haven't seen yet?
Bringing in the Amoonguss would be a pretty decent adjustment. I wouldn't expect to bring the Salamence or the Crobat. The Salamence is pretty okay. It can get off Intimidates alongside the Scrafty, but I think Dane had a pretty solid plan in game one to win with a slightly faster Groudon.
Yeah. As we do see the Crobat coming out for Dane's side, and the Meowstic Kyurem lead, actually, for Brad here. So that's bringing out the Scarf Kyurem right away.
Yeah, bringing up the Scarf Kyurem was a really smart adjustment on Brad's end here, and Dane leads right into it, opting to lead with the Crobat. He has a very easy Gravity Blizzard play here. Can just straight up KO the Crobat, should be faster, do probably around 50% to the Groudon, maybe a little bit less. But this is a good lead out of Brad's side. Adjusted well, possibly predicting Dane to also change things up.
Right.
So good lead. Dane's side, the Groudon is still threatening here. As he presses Blades, he's going to do a ton of damage. Same with a Fire Punch on the Kyurem.
Yeah, and we do see it actually protecting this turn. Gravity being set up by Meowstic here, going to be able to boost the accuracy of that Blizzard. We do see it coming out onto Dane's Pokemon, going to connect with that Crobat and take it out in one hit there. Not able to set up any taunts or tailwinds here, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. The Crobat just gets taken out turn one, but that was sort of, I think that was sort of his play at this point was to well, I led pretty poorly, but now I can adjust, get in Scrafty, fake out the Kyurem next turn, and then fire back attacks.
Right. So Scrafty coming in here definitely has the fake out pressure. Do you think Groudon will be able to take advantage of this, possibly?
Groudon's going to be able to take advantage, get off a guaranteed Precipice Blades hit here onto the Kyurem, which is good. The Kyurem, he doesn't have to fake out.
He just goes for the Blizzard, no fake out from the Scrafty slot. Critical hit onto that Groudon, gonna bring it down to very low HP indeed. Precipice Blade's gonna connect with both of Brad's Pokemon here, and Knockoff able to finish off the Meowstic there.
Yeah, interesting thing there, the Meowstic opted to try to set up Trick Room.
Right.
Dane denied that pretty smartly, but he also did not KO the Kyurem. So now Kangaskhan comes in here, gets the fake out onto the Scrafty slot. The crit helps out Brad a lot, knowing that now Blizzard will not be a roll of any kind versus Groudon.
Right, so it can just throw out another Blizzard and pretty much be guaranteed here.
Absolutely.
So yeah, fake out from that Kangaskhan, definitely really threatening onto both of Dane's Pokemon here. Having a fast mode seems to be better.
Yeah, the fast mode definitely benefiting Brad this game.
Yeah.
The thing is that Dane just doesn't have a way to set up Trick Room. Usually the downfall of the fast mode on that team is that if the opponent sets up Trick Room, you're kind of in a very bad position. Kyurem isn't. Kyurem's relatively bulky. It's not the most bulky Pokemon though. And then under Trick Room, if you're Choice Scarf, you're going to be going after everything.
Right.
And Kyurem likes to just chunk things with its, because when you're on Choice Scarf and Blizzard, you're sort of just like chunking things for Kangaskhan to finish them, for Groudon to finish them.
We actually do see Scrafty coming back for Dane's side, bringing in that Salamence. Going to be dropping the Intimidate onto Kangaskhan there, bringing it to -1 attack. We're going to see it decide to Mega Evolve this turn, opting to... obviously not because of the... he doesn't need the speed being lowered on this turn in particular.
Absolutely.
Protect on Groudon here. Blizzard going into the Salamence switching, gonna do quite a lot of damage and take it down in one hit there.
Yeah, that is a very cold dragon.
Both of Dane's flying type Pokemon here just getting destroyed here.
Yeah. The theory there is to switch in the switch in the Salamence, get the Intimidate on the Kangaskhan, get the second Intimidate with the Scrafty.
Right.
You're able to fake out Kyurem, and you hope that your Groudon is somehow able to live a -2 double edge here. It's very possible. Dane's Groudon is very bulky. If they can live, fire off a Precipice Blades, might be able to KO the Kyurem. Don't know that's going to be able to win him the game though.
Right. So fake out from that Scrafty going to be going probably into the Kyurem, you think? Yeah.
Probably into the Kyurem.
So
the Blizzard does still threaten the KO onto the Groudon at this point.
We'll get to see that. It does go into the Kyurem slot, going to prevent that Blizzard from coming out there. Double Edge going into the Groudon slot. Gonna be enough to barely miss the KO there. Quite an amazing play. Precipice Blades coming out from Groudon. Will it be enough? It picks up the knockout on the Kyurem slot, so Dane's still not out of this game yet.
Yeah, Dane's definitely not out of it.
Barely surviving with that 1 HP Groudon there.
Uh-huh. So now it's time to see a final 2-on-2 situation. Brad brings in Groudon here. Dane's Groudon is faster, which is important. It's able to fire off a Precipice Blades. Say, for instance, he opts to protect the Groudon this turn and low kick the Kangaskhan. Then next turn he gets off a single target.
Precipice Blades, yeah.
Precipice Blades versus Brad. This game is not over yet. Groudon hanging on there with that -2 double edge was very crucial for Dane.
Yeah, so that Salmon switch-in actually doing a lot of work for the late game here, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. The Salmon switch-in seemed to be just sacking the Salamence, but absolutely paid off.
Yeah. We do see a low kick from Kangaskhan going right into that Groudon, not opting to protect this turn. Gonna be able to fire off a Fire Punch into this Scrafty, and barely miss on the knockout there. A low kick actually going into the Groudon slot as gravity returns to normal here.
Yeah, I think that was a choke on Dane's end. He had himself in with a chance as long as he protected and low kicked the Kangaskhan. Not sure why he wouldn't protect there. We see a forfeit come out, and we're going to game 3.
Wow, yeah, that seemed like Dane wasn't really prepared for the Kyurem matchup.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, he definitely anticipated Brad to try and stick with Trick Room. Brought the same general strategy from last game.
Yeah.
This game did not happen. Brad brought the Kyurem, just kept on spamming blizzards all game long, and it worked out pretty well for him.
Right. Yeah. It came down to the wire though. Still, he seemed like he had a chance there, but
yeah, absolutely. Bringing Mewtwo game 3 is going to be a good adjustment, I think, because it's able to take 2, possibly 3 blizzards from the Kyurem, fire back a very powerful side strike as well.
Yeah. Do you think that's what that's kind of what had the matchup in Brad's favor because he didn't bring Mewtwo?
I think so, yeah. Not bringing Mewtwo there wasn't a good idea. Mewtwo chunks so much of Brad's team for really good damage. As they're sitting here waiting around, seeing if they want to save the battle video.
Yeah, I think they're discussing the last play, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
Looks like it. As time runs out on that, and hopefully we can get into game 3 here. I gotta get going soon.
got a date.
Yeah, got a date, man.
Yeah. So we going into game 3 of the grand finals here. Very very exciting to have a best of 3 in finals and go to game 3. It's
definitely.
It's very intense for both players.
Oh yeah, both players got about 10 extra CP on the line here.
Yeah.
Obviously going home with the title of champion.
And the decal.
Yeah, and the sick decal.
Yeah, I love them. Shoutouts to Rebecca Cartwright, amazing TO here at in Illinois. She was the maker of all the decals, so definitely shoutouts to her, and she's a great TO.
Yeah, fantastic TO. This was a extremely well-run tournament. From the stream is good back here.
Yeah, we had fun. I had fun. Do you have fun?
I have.
Jack, you have fun?
That was pretty good.
He says it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had a great time. I think every single player here has had a good time.
Yeah.
Everything ran super smoothly. There were no long delays between rounds. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So great tournament, and this will be a great last match for it too. So. You talked about how Dane should be bringing Mewtwo to this matchup. Is there any other supporters that he would need in this?
Probably not Crobat after the last game. I think using Crobat over Mewtwo was a pretty poor adjustment on Dane's end. He was expecting the Meowstic to come out, I guess.
Yeah.
Not really sure what that does for him. He can set up Tailwind right into a Trick Room. He can go for a Taunt right into a Mental Herb. Maybe he's trying to Super Fang and just KO everything.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the Crobat showing up in game 3.
Yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to fire off anything at all.
Yeah.
Getting destroyed by that Blizzard.
Yeah, completely destroyed by Blizzard turn 1. But see here, going into game 3 of finals.
Yeah, we have Dane leading out with his Scrafty and Groudon. As Brad leads with Meowstic Kangaskhan. So Once again, the fake out Trick Room threat from Dane's side here.
Yep.
Or from Brad's side, rather.
Yeah, from Brad's side, he definitely threatens the fake out Trick Room. This is definitely a good adjustment for Dane's end. Scrafty Groudon covers a lot of the lead options.
Right.
Leads better into Cura Meowstic should Brad have gone with that again, just straight up.
Right.
Let's see. The Scrafty here is in a good spot. It intimidated the Kang, obviously. Not gonna take too much damage from it. Threatens a fake out and knock off onto the Meowstic potentially.
Yeah.
The Groudon here is in a good spot too. -1 Kangaskhan's not doing a whole lot. If he sets up Trick Room, well, the Groudon's going to be underspeeding Kangaskhan. So
True, unless he opts to not Mega Evolve again.
yeah, we could definitely see that happen. Even then, I would expect the Kangaskhan to be Jolly, and the Groudon would still underspeed it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
So, fake out. Where do you think the fake out is going for Kangaskhan?
Fake out probably going into the Scrafty, I would assume. You could go into the Groudon as well, but I think your Kangaskhan is going to take a lot of damage from that Scrafty low kick. Should
Right.
Go for that.
So we do see Brad opting to Mega Evolve here. Fake out is going to go into the Groudon target here. Going to prevent any possible Precipice Blades coming from that slot. Super Fang actually going into the Meowstic here. Going to try to get some damage off on it as we see Trick Room go up.
This is a very smart turn from Dane's end. The Super Fang is super smart because now he sets up Trick Room on him. Scrafty gets to go first. Super Fang Kangaskhan and Precipice Blades gets to go off and probably KO both of Brad's Pokemon.
Do you think Kangaskhan's going to stay in?
I don't know what he can switch into Super Fang Precipice and be able to still hang around. Smeargle's obviously getting KO'd by that. Mawil's going to get KO'd by that. Probably didn't bring Mawile. Kyurem is going to get KO'd by that, and Groudon probably also KO'd. He kind of was forced to keep Kangaskhan. He's sort of forced to keep these Pokemon in, but they're not in a good position.
Right.
He's definitely locked up his game pretty well. His chance was Precipice misses, but he's not giving himself that chance either.
Yeah, no, he's setting up Gravity, which is actually it's going to help out the Groudon Precipice Blades for coming out here. We see the Sucker Punch into that Groudon, expecting to be KO'd this turn. We actually see a Fire Punch going into that Kangaskhan slot there, taking it right out of the game.
Yeah, the Fire Punch is pretty smart. They're trying to keep Meowstic around, so that he can just target down one slot consistently.
Right.
The thing that would be good here is a Smeargle switch in. I could see some transform stuff going out.
As we do see that, in fact.
Yeah.
Possibly a fake out or a Dark Void incoming here.
Yeah, I believe that we saw that the Smeargle undersped the Scrafty game 2, or game 1, or one of the games.
Yeah.
Dark Void is a pretty strong play here under Gravity. Switch out the Meowstic and the Groudon, perhaps. And then you get a transform Precipice Blades game, and suddenly Brad's back in the game.
Could possibly turn this around, have the momentum shift here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could definitely happen.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he opts to Dark Void. He does switch out the Meowstic for the Groudon in the back. Gonna be going primal here. Possibly setting up a chance to sweep with Precipice Blades after the Dark Void play here, possibly. We do see that going into both of Dane's Pokemon. Under the effects of Gravity, going to be able to connect with both of these Pokemon here. Going to put both of them to sleep, but also giving them a guaranteed sleep turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty interesting here. Dane has been pretty consistently bringing double Intimidate. I would have almost liked to have seen a sort of keep in Meowstic safeguard. Go for the Dark Void, swap it back out, and swagger your own Groudon, so that then you can fire off boosted Precipice Blades, and then you're also not susceptible to being put at -1, -2, -3 if Dane just keeps cycling his mons out.
Does he go double Groudon again?
I think that's his game plan at this point.
Double Groudon hype?
Yeah, we're gonna see triple Groudons on the field potentially. 3 primal Groudons potentially coming out here. I don't know that the Transform is the best play. I think going for the Safeguard and then the Swagger probably would have been ideal.
Yeah.
But it's still a fine play. It puts him in this game with a chance.
Yeah. As we do see the Schmiergel transforming into the Groudon there, going to have the Scrafty be fast asleep there. Precipice Blades going into both of Dane's Pokemon here. Gonna pick up a knockout onto that Groudon. Scrafty is still hanging on with a fair amount of HP though.
Yeah, the Scrafty is going to be a 3-hit KO'd by these Precipice Blades, which is pretty important. It has a good chance to wake up next turn.
We do see the Salamence come in, bringing the Intimidate drop there. Could play a factor here.
Yeah, the Intimidate drop here is very important. 2 Precipice Blades, I would still expect to KO the Salamence and the Scrafty. But if the Scrafty can wake up here, get off a Super Fang, he could try to stall out Trick Room. Maybe get off a second Super Fang potentially if he's able to hang on from double Precipice, and then put the 2 Groudons into a Hyper Voice range maybe.
Right. So we do see Salamence Mega Evolving here. Going to see what it decides to do here. Scrafty does wake up and does go for the Super Fang onto the Schmiergel slot. Precipice Blades is going to be able to connect with both Pokemon here under gravity. Is going to do a fair amount of damage to both, and he connects all 4 Precipice Blades hits and does pick up the knockout onto that Scrafty. Salamence manages to hang on though.
Yeah, Hyper Voice comes out here. Is probably going to KO the Smeargle one.
Oh, it does not! Living with 6 HP. Even with its lowered HP stats, still able to bulk those hits.
But this game looks to be pretty much over. Trick Room just expired. Mewtwo comes in here. Hyper Voice Side Strike should be able to clean up this game for him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, anything that Brad could do here?
I don't think there's too much counterplay.
Yeah.
He could try to switch in. He could try to protect his actual Groudon, sack the Smeargle, get in his Meowstic, and go for some Swaggers.
Possibly, yeah.
Swaggers is always a pretty good out.
Protect onto his real Groudon, Side Strike, missing there, but the Hyper Voice will connect with Schmiergel, and it will go down this turn, bringing in that Meowstic. So yeah, we haven't seen Swagger yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen Swagger come out in this set. I think we're about to though. Swagger still has one way out of this match. If he Swaggers the Mewtwo, is able to take the Hyper Voice. If he's able to take the Hyper Voice with Meowstic, that could be very good.
Yeah.
He's still gonna be two-hit KOing both these Pokemon, so he's gonna have to get a million Swagger rolls.
And I believe we're still under gravity, correct?
Yeah, I believe we're still under gravity for one more turn.
Okay.
So he's still got he's got a chance. He's got a chance.
Protect coming out for Salamence there, trying to stall out the gravity. Mewtwo going for a substitute here, going to prevent any setup. He goes for a Fire Punch onto that substitute of Mewtwo here. We're gonna see what the Meowstic goes for. It opts to
Trick Room.
Opts to Trick Room here. However, gravity is now. Gravity's still up.
Is gravity still up, or did it expire a while ago?
Yeah, no gravity
just expired, but he can now set it back up and go for a
Precipice Blades on both.
And Salamence just protected here. Wow.
So what does Dane do this turn then?
Dane has to be feeling pretty bad. If he just went for the Hyper Voice there, I think he was in a much better position. Precipice Blades, it's going to come down to whether Precipice Blades is going to be able to KO the Salamence here. Because presumably Meowstic goes for Gravity. He goes for Precipice Blades. He can hope for a double Protect on the Salamence. Mewtwo is going to be 2-hit KO'd by the first Spread Precipice and then one more single target one at -1.
So would he still need a Swagger roll though?
I don't think he will actually. Assuming that this Precipice Blade is able to KO the Salamence. If the Precipice KOs the Salamence, then that's going to be game, I think.
We have it connecting with both, and it KOs both.
Critical hits the Mewtwo.
Critical hits both of them. Oh my lord!
What a crazy finish to that game.
Brad able to call upon the based RNG gods and get a double crit Precipice Blades.
Wins the whole midseason showdown. Wow.
Absolutely amazing.
That was an amazing finish to the tournament. Wow.
Holy moly. Brad coming back from seemingly like a defeat.
Yeah, just needed to go for swagger and then pulls it out with the trick room.
Absolutely amazing there.
That was an amazing finish to that tournament. Wow.
What would Mewtwo have done in that situation? Like, had it not got credited?
It probably would have gone for the side strike. I don't know that it would have KO'd the Groudon. If it would have KO'd the Groudon, that would have been extremely beneficial.
Because then it would have came to swagger rolls, right?
Yeah, it would have come down to swagger. I think that might have been in Brad's favor though.
Yeah.
Because of Life Orb recoil, I don't think Ice Beam would have KO'd Meowstic from that range. So.
Yeah,
wow.
That amazing finish there.
Fantastic finish to this midseason showdown.
Congrats to Brad for taking a well-earned victory. He played some high quality matches here on stream, I think.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Brad definitely showing himself to be a pretty solid player.
Yeah.
I don't know that too many people know him, but definitely a name to watch out for after coming out on top of this pretty stacked mid-season showdown.
Yeah, he hasn't been out of Chicago too much here, but has been to a few regionals before, so definitely a top player to be looking out for now.
Absolutely.
So I will be right back with Brad, and we'll get him a little interview, and we'll sign off. So stay tuned if you want to catch that.
Yep, and see you guys later.